Yeah, you're right, and that's why I'm saying you don't.
Religion isn't about telling people.
Ma'am, you gotta let me answer. You gotta let me give an answer. You can't keep cutting me off.
People what to do.
Actually, it is.
All right, guys, welcome back. You guys already know, got my drink on deck. And this one, we're going to be reacting to a Christian versus a Muslim. I think it's a Muslim woman. So let's go ahead and get that going.
But you don't get to tell anyone else what they get to do.
Yeah, well, you don't have to. You can walk on by. I'm not telling you anything. I have an opinion here. I have an opinion, just like you have an opinion. I'm not telling you anything. You can walk on by, right? We live in Canada.
But you're
Amen.
here to provoke. You're here
It's
to
gonna
provoke.
I'll just say something really quickly. As a Muslim woman,
Yeah, thank you. Hey, I appreciate you, man. We're just trying to chat.
No, but that's what I wanted to say.
Very good.
I'm good for one-on-one. Get them, Poggy. Thank
He
you.
has the right to
Yeah, thank
say
you very
his
much.
opinion. That's totally fine. But with that being said,
Yeah.
this is generalizing,
Inflammatory, yeah.
right? This is
Generalizing?
generalizing
In what way?
because in the sense of if someone is pregnant
Yeah.
and the fetus is harming their own life,
Yeah.
then even in Islam we are permitted to abort,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, Islam, I'm a Christian, though, right? So it is a bit.
That's fine. I'm speaking as a Muslim because I am a Muslim, right? I grew up in a Muslim country. I've only been living here for a few months. The topic of abortion.
By the way, I mentioned before in the past, and I'm going to continue to mention it in the videos that I do regarding street preachers. I love the way that they have these signs that pretty much trigger people. He knows he's going to get a response out of people, especially when he's, doing this at like a college campus, downtown, pretty much all these high traffic areas.
Abortion is completely fine in the sense of everyone is allowed to have their own opinions about it. But it's not fair to be telling other people that it is a sin to be doing something when it's only in your own opinion, right?
Well, based on, but let's just use logic, right? Because I like that you're very calm. Thank you very much for. If me as a Christian, right, God says that it is murder, right? And we know that life begins at conception. From my perspective, this from my religion is true. So maybe from the Islam. So in your perspective, you could come out with a sign that says after X amount of days, but. Just because it's inflammatory from my perspective doesn't mean it's not true, though, right?
But do you believe that a country should enforce Christian laws on all of a society, regardless of their own religion?
No. Well, law first and foremost. We had this is a very different topic. We had the backbone of a Christian society. Like our law was heavily dictated off the Bible, but we have the freedom now of state and church, so you don't have to be Christian.
1,000%. And with that being said, I just believe that. Okay, so if I'm not Muslim, if I'm not Christian, I don't necessarily subscribe to these ideologies or opinions because at the end of the day, it's an ideology, right? It's not a fact. So with that
Would
being
you say, though,
said,
Islam is a fact, or is that still an
no, it's
ideology?
an ideology.
You
Because
don't believe
here's
Islam's the
thing.
truth, then?
No, I believe Islam is the truth as a Muslim.
Okay.
But I can't be.
But imagine saying, I believe Islam is the truth, but not really. Then at that point, then you don't really believe in your own beliefs. I mean, I believe Christianity is the truth. And really, that's what it is. That's, as a Christian and as a human being, I believe Christianity is the truth.
I can't be telling other people that Islam is the truth if that's not what they believe.
But if it is the truth, do you believe in objective morality or subjective morality?
I believe in objective morality, but it's not objective morality to be telling people that abortion is murder because scientifically speaking, a fetus is not a human baby, right?
Well, what is it? If it's not a human, what is it?
It's a fetus.
Is it like a porcupine?
No, it's a fetus.
But you know
I
what fetus
understand
means,
that-
though, right? That's just a stage of development.
I understand that it's a stage before a newborn child, right? Like an infant, right? But with that being said,
But we'd agree it's still a human, though, right?
That's completely understandable. I'm not dehumanizing the fetus. I'm humanizing the mother because it's unfair for me as a woman to have this constant fear of, oh shit, if I'm pregnant and the baby and my life is in danger and my country's telling me not to abort, then who's being oppressed, the child or myself?
Mind you, if your life is in danger, they're not going to ask you to get an abortion. They're going to ask you to get a C-section. You can go that way. That's not considered an abortion. Different thing. You can have a C-section.
And if that's
Well, there are options to go around
let
that,
me finish
right?
my point. If that is the case, then a child is going to grow up motherless.
Bobby,
If-
do a 360. Sorry.
If that is the case, a child is going to grow up motherless. If that is the case, if I can't afford having a child, the child is going to grow up in poverty. If that is the case, then we're turning a first world country into a third world country. Because politically speaking, a third world country oppresses its society. And look around you.
Can I answer back?
Right? Yeah.
We'll go.
Before he answers back, I would like to say you can't use the whole, grow up in poverty and in poverty and things like that. Why are you having sex? Like, why are you putting yourself in that position to begin with? That's a bad excuse. The whole excuse of, oh, I can't have it because we can't afford it right now, or I just don't want it, or I'm not ready. Listen, that's a bad excuse.
We'll go one argument at a time. So the
No,
first,
please.
you listed a bunch of arguments, and they're good arguments,
yeah.
but let's just go one at a time. The
Yeah,
first
I'm
one.
like bouncing all over the
It's
place.
okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So the first argument was that, like, if the mother's in danger.
Yeah.
Great question. So a medical abortion is never necessary. If there's let's talk about different trimesters. Okay. The third trimester, late abortion is never needed. What you would use is an emergency
There it is. C-section. I told you.
C-section. So an abortion is actually never needed.
Why
Okay.
don't we just,
Well, hold this. Just
like,
wait. Just give me a second.
Okay, I
So that's
have a
number one. And
question
then
for you.
can I answer the other
No,
part?
no,
then?
I have another
This is an interesting character with the red. Very, very interesting. I can already tell you which side he goes in.
question for you.
Go ahead.
So regarding that, what if the fetus, because that happens in a lot of cases, what if the fetus dies inside the woman, right?
Like a miscarriage.
Right, a
So
miscarriage,
that would be-
but that's very late into the pregnancy, and therefore
No,
it's
no, no, no,
considered
no.
a fetus,
Miscarriages
right?
are all miscarriages are all within the first trimester.
So you're telling me that a lot of the women that were forced to give birth to dead children are doing it just out of spite?
Sorry, are
or-
we talking about miscarriages? So here, let me just give you my claims, okay? So I say it's murder, right? Now, murder, the definition of that is premeditated, unjust. A miscarriage is not premeditated. A mother doesn't premeditate a miscarriage.
I agree
So that would
1,000%.
not be an abortion.
I agree 1,000%. But in a lot of cases, when you say abortion,
Yeah.
a lot of uneducated people are going to take that as.
And that's why I'm here to educate them.
Okay, so with that being said, if someone's raped, right?
Which is horrible. I think death penalty to the rapist.
Regardless of what it is and your opinion on it, okay? Someone's raped.
Would you
and it
say rape is bad,
It
though?
happens every day, right? Regardless of what it is, it happens, right?
I'm not.
So when you say that abortion is murder,
Yeah.
you're
This is a good point because if you look at the stat, I'm not sure where he got this information from, but let's just say that is legit. Look at the rates in the percentage if a victim is, the R word. Basically 0.5%. Mind you, it's still a lot of people that is happening to. But if you put it in the grand scheme of things, it's not even 1%.
You're pushing for what? For it to be criminalized, right?
Yes.
That's the case.
Yes.
So is that going
Actually, let's go back one more. So take a look at this one more time. The first one is saying not ready is 25%. So just think about that. The R word, 0.5%, not even 1%, but not ready is 25%. Can't afford a baby right now is 23%. So if you're really honest, come on, let's be honest here, guys. The main reason is because you're not ready and you can't afford it. That's literally the main reason why people want to have an abortion nowadays.
pushing for what? For it to be criminalized, right?
Yes.
That's the case.
Yes.
So is that going to stop abortions in Canada?
It won't stop them completely, no.
Okay, then what is it going to do?
Well, it will lower them.
No, that's not what it's going to do. What's going to happen is a lot of people are going to perform abortions without,
Like back alley abortions.
that being said, just like, by the
That
way,
will
and
happen,
that
yeah.
happens in so many countries around the world.
Yeah.
And with that being said, your death toll goes up, right? And your health care is completely fucked because now everyone has, infections, they could die, all that jazz. So with that being said, how are you protecting your society?
Great question. Again, you banged out a lot of points, though. We got to try to stick to one at a time, right? So the first one, what was the first one? Do you want to talk about rape or just
so
one point at a time, and then let
someone
me
who's
answer?
raped,
okay?
what do I do now? I'm raped.
So it's a great question. It's a great question.
Yeah.
It's a horrible thing. I'm against rapists. I believe biblically the rapists get the death penalty. Do we agree on that or no?
No, I agree. 1,000%.
Okay. So I
yeah.
just want to let that know it's a bad thing, okay? But just because something is bad doesn't mean we should murder the child. Like two bads don't make a right, right? So I
Okay.
want to give you a
So
statistic.
a 9-year-old?
Can I keep answering? Just give me a minute, okay?
Okay.
Less than 1% of all abortions are due to rape and incest.
Okay.
So the vast majority, and you don't take my word, you can search this up. About 99% are due to the woman not wanting the kid, or changing her mind, or not having enough money, whatever it may be. So less than 1%. It's still a bad thing. And then in that case, what we should do is we should love the woman, protect her. I know it's very traumatic, but she should deliver the child, or at least have a C-section. And then and the last thing I'll say, just to cherry it on top, there are 36 adoptive families for every one child. So if she doesn't want the child, give it up for adoption.
So
That would be ideal.
So you're telling me that
Plenty of families waiting to have kids that they can't have one. So yeah, he has a very solid point. Adoption is definitely an option.
people that are in the system, I don't know what it's called here in Canada because I'm not Canadian, but all the children that are pretty much in the system and looking for homes, find a family?
Are we talking about foster children or up for adoption?
Both.
Yes, so they're different. So there are 36 adoptive families for every one child. So it's very rare. Like, it's actually very hard to adopt a child because so many people. Right. Well, many mothers can't have kids, so they want to adopt. Now,
So you can. So with that being said, if as a woman you're having this child, or you don't want to have this child because you can't afford it or whatever the case is, but then you're scared that it might go to a wrong family. No, I mean the process of these families obtaining a child is very, very intensive. So you can be assured that they'll have a good chance of going to a very good family.
Foster care is different. Yes, foster care. It's sad. It's unfortunate. But we still shouldn't kill them.
Your system is broken.
We'll just move a little here. I don't want to be right in the center. People are walking, right?
Your foster care system is broken, and
It's not ideal, yeah.
Well, it's
But
broken.
it's still better than killing kids.
Well, I wouldn't say it's better than killing kids
It's
because
better.
they're dying anyway, right? There's drug addiction. There's being out in the streets and being homeless. Can you imagine how many?
Bobby, get my backpack. Sorry, go ahead.
Do you understand the tolls of the amount of people that die just from homelessness? Here in Canada, the weather is very cruel.
I would rather than be homeless than be killed.
Really? So
Absolutely.
The way she said, "Really," is that even a question? Are you serious? Of course, I'd rather be homeless than being killed.
You would rather, no. So you would rather that a woman would safely abort a child than a child dying because they're a crackhead because they don't have a family? That's what you prefer?
There's a couple.
Wow.
You got to go. So it's great. A couple fallacies though. Number one, you're not God. You don't know if this kid's going to be a
You're not
crackhead.
either.
Well, you're right, and that's why I'm
the
saying
thing.
you don't.
Religion isn't about telling people.
Man, you
what
gotta
to do
let me
with
answer.
them.
You gotta let me
but
give an answer.
religion
You can't keep
isn't
cutting me
about
off.
telling people what to do.
Actually, it is.
No, it's
Absolutely
not.
is. Jesus says
A
in John,
prophet's job
lady,
is to
you
tell
got
people
to
what
let
to
respectfully.
do.
You got to let me answer. If we're gonna go back and forth, okay? I like these questions, but you got to let me answer, okay?
Go ahead, please.
Again, you're jumping. So we're not God. You don't know that this baby is going to be a crackhead, and I would rather a child face the potential of being a crackhead.
You got to at least have the child have a chance to live. You can't just assume that they're gonna die or be a crackhead. But if you just kill him before he even or she gets a chance to live, how do you know that?
Over killing it, yes, any day. Number two, we are commanded to judge. John 7:24, Jesus says to judge righteously. That's how our society's been built. If none of us judged, our society would go into chaos. 1 Corinthians 2:15, a spiritual man judges all things. I'm commanded to preach the gospel to all creation. I'm actually told to do this with my religion. And if you're a Muslim, right, I would want you to do the same thing with your religion.
No, because in Islam,
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think she believes what she says she believes, because if she really believed what she said, then she will say that's the truth, regardless of what anybody else thinks.
abortion is not considered murder. Abortion has, its laws, its situations. No woman on earth is going to wake up and decide, oh, I don't want to be a mother, so I'm going to abort the child, risk my life.
Many mothers do that.
Risk my infections, risk my mental health. And you can't even force someone to have a child if they don't want to, because at the end of the day, mothers face postpartum depression. They could be very depressed by it. Their mental health is extremely damaged by that. Their physical health could also be extremely damaged for life.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I just don't think that, it's fine to have your own opinion. It's fine to think that abortion is murder, but it's definitely not okay to enforce it on on an entire country. It's not okay to enforce it on a society. And it's not okay to, more importantly, I believe that judgment doesn't work that way, you know. Then again, you're a Christian, I'm a Muslim, we're speaking
We're just gonna have to agree to.
You know what? You know what's not okay? I'll tell you what's not okay. Killing a baby. That's not okay. So that wraps up today's video. Let me know what you guys think. That's my opinion. Let me know down in the comments whether you agree, disagree. Personally, doesn't even matter. Just don't kill babies. That's my opinion. Peace.